By the power of Grayskull.
Hey everybody, this is a Review Revolution coming at you with another Master of the Universe Classics figure. Tonight, we're along with Adora, we are looking at the Battle Armor He-Man. That's right, for January, along with Adora, Mattel did go ahead and bring us the very cool modern day version of a mid-80s icon. Now, Mattel let me kind of stop for a moment. Going back in time to the mid-80s, Mattel really had three big lines that still survive pretty much to this day. Hot Wheels, Master of the Universe, and Barbie. Now, I've heard, or I've read, contradictory accounts of the dates as to when different things were introduced. But for the Hot Wheels and Master of the Universe series, to my knowledge, it was never applied to Barbie. Mattel had developed a spring-loaded drum feature that they introduced into their Hot Wheels as the Crack-Up series, in which case you would take the car, shoot it down the wall, bang it to another car or the wall, and the part that it hit would flip, thereby showing, crash damage. It was really cool. I mean, I had them all the way up until the time they finally stopped working. Well, they did take that same idea of the spring-loaded flip and apply it to the Master of the Universe with Battle Armor He-Man. And, of course, the Battle Armor Skeletor, which I'm sure we'll probably be seeing before the end of the year. That's my prediction, is that we'll see a Battle Armor Skeletor before the end of the year. For He-Man, as opposed to being just two sides like the Hot Wheels cars were, there was actually a drum that was built into his chest that was spring-loaded, that was divided into three levels of damage. The first one with the dent, the pristine kind of armored one, and then the one with double damage that you can kind of make out there. It was basically just the regular He-Man with a special chest and the rest used from the original figure. It was really cool. It sticks in people's minds for so many reasons. And it was one that, had to get done. And to be perfectly honest, I think the Four Horsemen did a great job bringing it back. You can see it says here, armor breastplate shows dents. And it does, just not the same way the original did, which is a shame. I mean, we know ahead of time that they're not going to include any kind of action features, but boy, that's a shame. On the back, of course, we do have the other figures that are in the line, or, come out. Here, of course, being the Man-at-Arms, it's being re-released. Tell you guys, if you haven't started collecting, this is a good time to get into it. Battle Armor He-Man, most powerful man in the universe. Real name, Adam, the House of Randor. They did actually give him a different bio, whereas on the DC bios, they're usually kind of the same sort of thing, or at least the information is. Here is something kind of new. To adapt to new enemies and situations, Adam has learned to tap further into the great power which his sword unlocks. The combined power of the universe and the knowledge of the Eldors is used by Adam to imagine and create new forms of armor and weapons to combat evil. His battle armor was created to protect He-Man during his early battles with Skeletor and his evil warriors. Using the power of Grayskull, He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe, is now shielded by his mighty battle armor. When I read that, the one thing I can't help thinking, and especially considering that he doesn't come with his sword of power, I can't help thinking of the old She-Ra episodes where She-Ra would transfer her sword to a shield, or a grapple-in line, or a rope. She would make her sword turn shapes into other weapons for her to be able to use. And the fact that this He-Man has his battle armor on with no sword included, I can't help thinking that he's wearing the sword. Prove me wrong, guys. But that's a look at the figure. We'll go ahead and pop him out of the pack and get a close look at the figure and the feature. Be right back. Alright, now we got Battle Armor He-Man out of his pack. I want to start by showing him kind of stripped down to just the figure itself. Just kind of give you an idea of some kind of unique things about this figure that certainly set it aside from the original Classics version. First off, he does have a painted body to kind of cheat the armor and to retain kind of the crunch articulation, which he has quite nicely. They just went ahead and gave him this kind of flat steel belly. Why the top is painted silver, I'm guessing, is just so that when you look into the gaps, it doesn't give anything away. The figure itself, just to kind of go over the articulation, the head. Now, this is a bonus figure, and he actually does have a bit of the bobblehead issue. So this BS about the female figures having too small a peg and why we only get to choose whether they have no interchangeable heads or just turn a hinge articulation, I don't buy it. This He-Man has a pretty serious bobblehead for the male figures. That's not the answer. I'm sure that there's a third thing going on there that needs to be looked into. For his arms, full range of movement, even with the armor on, I'll be able to show. Hinge at the bicep, elbow, and wrist. Twist of the waist. Leg comes out. Now this is pretty much the same as what we get on the re-release He-Man. Comes out this way, bends, twist at the boot, and on the ankle. So arms and legs, pretty much the same kind of thing. Even the shaggy shorts, same kind of thing as the He-Man from the classic original release. Such. One thing that you'll notice right off the bat is that it looks as though that his overall body seems to be a bit smaller in proportion. And as such, his neck does look a bit longer. The reason for that being is that when you put it on, they have to give enough clearance for his head to still have the full articulation. So, with it off, standing next to the original, clearly there's a size difference. He obviously is not as big in the torso, but again, that is just to make up for the gap that's going to be filled by the armor. Now, as I mentioned on the armor, the original used a spring-loaded drum. I'll go ahead and do this one right here. This one has these plates. There's the double dent that mount from the back. This would not be a problem except for the fact that this is a kind of tough plastic, very reminiscent of some of the Master Universe Vintage line armors that did break eventually. So this is something where I would say find a piece that you like, and actually I'm not too keen on that one so much. Let's go ahead and go with the undamaged one. But find a piece that you like and make sure that's the one you're going to display. Now, I know I said this about Randor, even more so with the Battle Armor He-Man. The large upper body certainly makes the rest of the figure look a bit more like the old vintage proportions. So this is a great throwback for me to the original Battle Armor, more even maybe than the way the He-Man Classics figure originally was. This, quite honestly, seems to be a much more enduring throwback. As I said, he doesn't come with any other accessory except for his battle axe, not even his shield. So that is a bit of a letdown. On the armor, I do want to make sure to point out that unlike the original, they did seem to take a little more care, because on He-Man, the straps here have the little squares. They actually carried those over onto Battle Armor He-Man, which of course leads into the locks on the back. This is not an armor I want to see in anything other than possibly a Battle Armor Skeletor. I don't want to see this kind of armor anywhere else. I'm sure most of you would probably agree with me. But for this figure, I would say it works and makes him really cool. But this has been the Review Revolution, taking a look at the Master of the Universe Classics Battle Armor He-Man. Again, having a blast with it. Thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, join the revolution, and we'll see you next time. Bye.